Hi everyone, my name is Kaylee and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay everybody, hello, happy Saturday or Sunday depending on which day you guys are seeing this on. I don't really have any updates for you guys, so let's just get into today's story time. I'm gonna bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who may be new here, I'm going to do my quick usual little rundown for most of the video. I'll be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that then you can leave.
There's the door. There's the door, bitch!
And these story times are set in by anonymous people. Okay everybody, let's get into today's story time. Story time about how the girl that my boyfriend was cheating on me with showed up to his house to beat me up. That was a really long title. But yeah. So a little background information. This whole thing happened whenever I was 17 years old, but we have to rewind back to my freshman year of high school so I can give you a little bit of background information on this girl. Okay, so back in my freshman year, I had lost all of my friends, okay? And it was mainly because the group of girls that I was friends with were so drama-filled, it was ridiculous. Like, they would beef with this other group of girls every other week, and then they would become friends, and they had everybody in the groups beefing whenever they would beef. Like, there were like two main girls in the group, right? There was Abigail, and then there was Sydney. Abigail and Sydney, I don't know why they would be on and off friends. It was probably over guys because everything was over men back then whenever girls would fight. Still is today, but you know. And so me and everybody else in the group, because I was in Abigail's group, we're all beefing with them whenever Abigail and Sydney would start beefing. But then I just got to a point where I was tired of being friends with them and then it being awkward whenever we weren't friends, and then I was friends with them again only because Abigail was friends with them. Do you guys get what I mean? Like, it's awkward. So yeah. After I stopped being friends with them because of that, I started hanging out with another group of girls. And the main girl that I was friends with in this group was Katie. There was like no drama in that group whatsoever. They were nice to everybody. And Katie was friends with both Abigail and Sydney, but they both knew that even if they weren't friends with each other, they couldn't be like, Katie, don't be friends with her because I'm not friends with her, blah, blah, blah. This sounds so catty, guys, but like this was the realest shit back then. Like we thought we were going through it, okay? Like we thought this was like the end of the world problems, okay? But yeah, so I become friends with them. I start sitting with them at lunch. And the one day we see this new girl sitting at a table by herself, and while we're sitting there, like I said, we were super nice to everybody, so we were like, should we go ask her if she wants to sit with us? And everybody agreed that we should invite her over, so we invite her over, and she introduces herself. Her name is Courtney, and I loved her. I thought she was the sweetest thing ever. She was super nice, kept to herself. So eventually, her and I, we figure out that we have a few classes together, and we start getting super close. Her, Katie, and I. Her and Katie were closer though because they lived in the same neighborhood, but that really didn't stop us all three from being friends. It wasn't like I felt left out, you know? Anyway, so the one night we all decided to have a sleepover. And this is whenever I found out that Courtney was not just some sweet, quiet girl. No, there was a whole nother side to this girl that I did not know. Because we all decided to ride Katie's bus home, and we're all hanging out, walking around the neighborhood because they lived kind of in a city. And then fast forward, we get to Katie's house, we're playing music, and then Courtney just starts telling us about her life. And y'all, mind you, we're 14 years old, okay? We're in our freshman year of high school, and my parents were helicopter parents. I had to lie to go to Katie's house that night because I wasn't allowed in that neighborhood. So the shit that she was about to say, like, put me in a state of shock. I was like, you did what? She's talking about how she had threesomes. She's talking about how her and her man. Oh, y'all, I don't even know if I can say this. Like, it makes me uncomfy. Okay, I'm just gonna, that y'all are only getting a whisper out of me. I'm not saying that. I'm not. So she's telling us all this. And we're like, oh my gosh. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, but this was with her man. Maybe that makes it better. I don't really think so, but no, y'all, this wasn't just with her man. No, it wasn't. She's talking about how this was with a few guys she had did this stuff with. And I feel bad looking back at it now because I'm like, okay, clearly this girl was lacking maybe some love in her life and she was looking for it through men, through sex. But back then, I was thinking, oh, you're a hoe. You're a hoe. And I don't want no hate, okay? Because back then, that's what that was. If you heard somebody was doing all that, you're not sitting there. It's not like 2025, baby, where it's like, oh yeah, we can fuck whoever we want. No, no. This was like, oh, you made out with 2 guys in your life and you're 15? You're a fucking slut. Be so for real. Anyways, so yeah. She's telling us all this. I'm getting a little bit like nervous. Because one thing that my parents made very clear to me was, you are who you hang around with. I had kissed one boy, okay, when I was 14. When I was 14, I had my first kiss, and maybe I kissed one other boy. But I'd never done anything else. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, are people gonna start calling me a whore? I'm not down for this. I'm not down for this. So fast forward, I start drifting away from them a little bit, okay? Mainly because of that. It just made me super uncomfortable. I did not want to be a part of that. I'm sorry, but I'm 14 years old. I don't want to be hanging around with girls that are doing that, especially whenever that's not what I want to be doing. So yeah, we drift apart. And after her and I did drift apart, later on, towards the end of the school year, I heard some rumors going around about her that ended up being true. But pretty much, she had been sleeping over Katie's house, and whenever she would sleep over there, she would sneak out of Katie's house and go to this boy's house who lived down the street, and she would fuck him in the middle of the night. Yeah. Which, this pissed Katie off because, first of all, Courtney didn't even live in the school district. So Katie was doing her a favor by letting her stay at the house, at her house. And the only reason why she also wanted to stay there was because she was talking to a guy, not the one she was fucking, who lived in the school district, and she wanted to be around him. So yeah, Katie, the one day her and I, we hang out and we're catching up, and she's like, yeah, she was staying at my house and she was sneaking over to his house in the middle of the night, getting me in trouble with my fucking mom just so she could go and fuck some guy. And so I guess it was this whole thing where she literally, like, Courtney had half of her shit at this girl's house, at Katie's house, and Katie threw that shit down the stairs. Like, she was not playing with her. So anyways, yeah, and not to mention, the guy that she was getting it on with, not the one she liked, he had a girlfriend who actually ended up becoming one of my best friends. So, y'all, it was just a whole fucking mess. It was disgusting. It was a mess. So bad. So bad. So then fast forward, the guy that she likes, for some reason I want to call him Neville. I don't know why. Okay, no, we're gonna call him Ethan. So, listen, I do feel bad about this one, guys, okay? I feel really bad about this one. But after I caught up with Katie, the one day Courtney calls me and she's like, OMG, like, I really like this guy. She was like, I think I'm pregnant with his baby, blah, blah, blah. Mind you guys, we're only 15. We're still in our freshman year. Like, freshman year's about to be over. But she's like, oh, like, I think I'm pregnant with his baby, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, shit, girl. I told some people. My best friend. I told my best friend. My best friend has a loud mouth, so it ended up getting around the school. And then she called me the one day and she was crying. And I felt really, really bad. I know that I was fucked up, guys. I was young, okay? I was young. I didn't see the weight of the situation of me telling everybody that she was possibly pregnant with the drug dealer's baby. So, yeah, that's kind of how that went, okay? Anyways, so then, her and I don't talk again. And she also isn't going to school anymore where we are. Like, she started going to a different school because she wasn't staying at Katie's house anymore to be in the school district. And so she kind of falls off the face of the earth for probably 2 years. Until I get with my man. Of fucking course. Of course. These hoes just disappear until I get a fucking man. So my man and I start dating, right? We start dating in October of my sophomore year. Things are going great. We're spending time together, hanging out. Like, we were besties, okay? Well, then he ends up going to jail, okay? He ends up getting sent to jail. And I don't see him for like 4 months. Because he went to like a juvenile detention center. So now we're gonna fast forward to September of my junior year. Now, y'all, this is where things start to get really fucked up, okay? Really fucked up in my life. So fast forward, my man gets home from jail in August, I would say, okay? He gets home from jail in August, and things were great with us. We were spending tons of time together because he was like on a probation period after he got out of jail, which the probation wasn't that long. I don't know. He had to get like drug tests and shit like that. That's basically what that was. But yeah, him and I, we hung out 24/7. I thought we had the perfect relationship until November comes around. Okay? November comes around. And then this motherfucker, when he doesn't have to take drug tests or anything anymore, he starts hanging out with his fucking hooligan friends. The kids that I also used to hang out with, but still. They were hooligans. They start hanging out and he starts really neglecting my needs. Like, he wasn't spending time with me anymore. The only time that he would want to hang out was whenever he wanted to have sex. So that was nice. Because then right after he'd be like, okay, well I have to go to a meeting now. And the meetings that he meant, he didn't have to take drug tests anymore, but he still had to go to like, narcotic meetings. I think that's what it was. I don't fucking know, guys. But yeah, he'd be like, okay, I have to go. And then I would see his location. He wouldn't even go. He would just go hang out with his friends. So you could only imagine how I felt. And the worst part was, I knew that there were other girls there. I knew the girls that were there were whores. Yeah, I'm using that word. They were. They wanted to fuck your man. I don't know what it was, y'all, but I remember being on the phone the one time. I remember being, like, on the phone with my man the one time. And hearing a bitch in the background say, I don't know what it is about guys that have girlfriends. I just love fucking them.
Oh, hell no.
So there are really bitches out there like that. Anyways, okay. Okay. So yeah, I knew that there were girls there that were hoes, which pissed me off even more. So then, I'm not gonna lie, I started snitching on my man. Like, his mom and I were best friends, okay, locked in for lifers. And she'd be like, oh, yeah, Devin's going to a meeting tonight. And I was like, and when I would see that he wasn't going to these meetings, I would call her. I'd be like, yeah, he just took your car to, wherever the fuck, and he's doing drugs in it right now with his friends. And she would go pick him up. She would go find him. She would go grab her car. She'd ground him. But then he started not giving a fuck about getting grounded. He would literally tell her, okay, I don't give a fuck. Like, if she would force him to go to school, he would literally walk all the way from school to home, grab his drugs and shit that he needed, and then go with his friends. Y'all, it was just so much fuckery. I know, I'm gonna be getting to the point in a minute, okay guys? I just need you to understand the full picture of this, okay? So eventually, I find out one of the girls that's there is Courtney. Of course it's fucking Courtney. Of course it's Courtney, yeah. So my man and his best friend, they thought that it was like fun to fuck the same girls, or like funny if they had ever hooked up with the same girls. And I didn't know this at the time. I'm just going throughout my day thinking that my man's the most loyal out of all his friends. When in reality, they're all fucking cheaters. So he started going over his friend's house more often. His friend Casper, he would go over there 24/7 because Casper would throw these mini parties, but Casper wouldn't invite me. No, he would never invite me. And the one day I'm at work, right? We're gonna, now we're gonna get to the part where, okay, so him and his friend Casper, they stopped being friends whenever my man went to jail, and then they finally started becoming friends again. During this time, Courtney was hanging out with Casper. She would go over there all the time, hang out with him, which I thought was weird because Casper was like a loner kid. I didn't see that coming. But anyways, this girl would fuck anything with a pulse. So, basically, my man and Casper become friends again. So you know what this means. My man starts going over Casper's house. Casper's hanging out with Courtney. So are you Casper, Courtney, and my man all in one house at one time. Y'all, if somebody told me that they could see the past and they could tell me what happened that day at his house, I wouldn't want to see it. I don't care if they sat around playing board games and holding hands, praying. I don't give a fuck. I know some shit went on in that fucking house that day. Now, my man got super drunk there the one day, and I'm texting him and I'm like, is that bitch there? He's like, no, she's not here. She's not here. She's not here.
Now, Maggie, I hate when people lie. Do not lie.
And I'm like, are you sure she's not there? Long story short, I go there and the bitch is there, okay? I don't walk into the house or anything like that, but I go and I basically call Casper. I'm like, listen here, motherfucker. You better send my man out or I'm coming into your house. I'm not playing with you. Y'all, when I tell you, I used to be psycho. Like, I used to be fucking psychotic, okay? needless to say, he brings him out. I grab him. I end up breaking my finger because I went to go grab him and then something happened. I don't know. I put him in the car. We go back to his house. And then fast forward, all of a sudden my man cleans up his act because he gets pulled over doing 102 while he's smoking a bong and in the driver's seat. So he cleans up his act because he gets put back on some probation shit. I don't fucking know. And then Katie and I start becoming closer. She starts dating Devin's brother, my man's brother. And we're all hanging out and everything like that. And then all of a sudden Devin's brother goes to jail. So now her and I are hanging out at Devin's house without her man there. And yeah, now that she doesn't have her man, she's starting to hang out with other people again. She's starting to hang out with Courtney again, okay? So the one day, I'm at my man's house with my man. And the thing that really annoyed me about this was Katie knew that I did not like Courtney. I didn't like her. I'm sorry, but like, she had a thing for girls' mans. And now that I had a boyfriend, I had something to be worried about. I had something that I needed to protect. Which, looking back at it, y'all, that man should have been kicked to the curb. Like, real shit. Like, throw his ass in a fucking dumpster. Okay? Anyways. So, Katie shows up to my man's house with Courtney. Mind you guys, I haven't seen Courtney since my freshman year in high school. Okay? Well, that's a lie. There were 2 times that I saw her where I was forced to. One, on my birthday, I went to a concert. She came with the guy that she was sleeping with, and they had to ride in our car, which I was fucking pissed, you guys. You don't understand how annoyed I was that she was in the car. And then another time, whenever Casper wanted Devin and I to pick her up and bring her to his house, I fought with my man so bad about that, you guys. You don't understand. Because here's my thing about it, right? I know you guys are probably like, well, why didn't you just pick her up? Like, it doesn't. If I'm in a car with my man and a girl that my man most likely fucked, y'all, I would spaz out. Like, actually, I'm sorry, but no, I'm not gonna be in the same room with you and somebody that you fucked. Especially if there's like active tension going on because the person used to be my friend and stuff like that. Yeah. So, like I said, they show up to my man's house and my man and I are outside. And y'all, when I tell you, I have no fucking clue why Courtney showed up with Katie. I think that it was because, like I said, Katie started hanging out with other people again, and now that she was best friends with her, she wanted her to be able to come over their house and us all be best friends. I'm not one of those girls that will sit in a room with somebody that my man has cheated on me with and not be able. Yeah, guys, like, it's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Anyways, so like I said, my man and I were sitting outside, and then all of a sudden, I see these bitches walk outside while we're eating at the table outside. Y'all, I was in shock. Like, I froze, and I'm like, I didn't know if it was real. Oh, and y'all, can I just tell you something? The one time whenever we had to drive her to Casper's house, I just remember her asking me in the car, why do you hate me? Like, girl, are you being so fucking for real right now?
Bitch, are you dumb?
Pardon me?
Are you dumb?
I think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb.
Think
Are
you're
you,
dumb.
like, medically speaking?
I'm sorry, I just had to tell y'all that. Because that, I had to bite my tongue so hard. Because I didn't want to make a scene. But anyways, I'm sitting there, I look at my man, and I'm like, you better tell them to leave. And he's like, you guys need to get out of my house. And Katie's like, no, I'm not leaving. And I'm like, Katie, I don't want her here. She needs to go. And she was like, why? Like, what happened? And I'm like, I don't fucking like her. And I look at her, and Courtney looks me up and down, and she's like, And I'm like, girl. And so then, y'all, I go in the house. Katie starts chasing me in the house. Like, she was gonna hit me. So I'm running, and I'm like, I'm calling 911. Y'all, I was not playing. So I lock myself in the room. She's banging on the fucking door. And I'm like, I'm calling the police right fucking now. And so I call 911 to his house. And then I hear her run down the stairs. So then I go downstairs. I go out to the back patio. They're still out there. Katie was like, if her and your man did something, you should be pissed off at your man, not her. And then I look over at Courtney, and Courtney's like, yeah. And I'm like, my thing is, they don't understand. I was already pissed off at him. Y'all, I threw his phone 2 stories up, like on the fucking concrete, out the window. Broke that shit. Threw a fucking lamp at him. Like, they don't understand how much I already was pissed off at him. But I wanted things to work with him. That was my man. I don't want things to work with you, bitch. I don't like you. The fuck? But then Katie starts acting dumb, and she's like, but like, what happened?
Oh, you finna piss me off too date.
Like why don't you like her? Like, what happened? Like, if you're, you know. And then I look over at Courtney again and she's like, she already knows. And I'm like, oh,
you want to get fucked up?
oh my god. That was confirmation she fucked my man, guys. Because Katie asked me, and then she looked over at Courtney and she was like, what happened? And then Courtney's like, she already knows. And I'm like,
Emotional, damn it.
y'all, it was a sad day to be me. Real sad day to be me. And I don't know why it took the police like maybe an hour to fucking show up. But by the time the police got there, they had already left. And I think what really pissed me off about the whole situation was just how smug she was about the whole thing. Like, whenever he told them for the final time, like, okay, you guys need to leave or I'm gonna drag you out of my house. She just like crossed her arms and she was like, okay, and walked out. Like, and I'm just like, bitch, get the fuck out of the fucking house. Nobody fucking wants you here, ho. But yeah. Now, I don't want y'all to think that I blamed her for my man cheating, okay? That man was a piece of shit. Okay? It was his fault. He cheated. Now, do I blame her a little bit for not being a good person and being like, oh shit, that's somebody's boyfriend. Maybe I shouldn't fuck them? Guys, I'm gonna be honest. To this day, it's never actually been confirmed that they fucked. But I know, okay? I have a gut feeling. And anytime I have a gut feeling, I'm right. So I'll trust my gut over anyone any day. Okay? Don't care. But yeah, no, I completely get that it was my man. Maybe she was doing that because I had ruined her relationship with that one guy, Ethan, that she really liked. She could have, honestly. She seemed like the type of person to do that. Oh, and then Katie ended up reaching out to me and being like, hey, do you want to hang out? And I texted her and I was like, honestly, Katie, I don't want to be friends with you. I literally said it like this. I was like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. You tried to fight me. That low-key hurt my fucking feelings that you chased me around my man's house. Around our man's house. Like, it was her, she was still dating Devin's brother at the time. Like, girl, I thought we were supposed to be like some sort of family, and you want to bring hoes to this house who hate me and want to murder me and make me feel like shit? No! You should be in jail. That is a fucking crime. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that shit. So, but you guys will be happy to hear that I did end up leaving him. Yes, I did. Because he cheated on me again after that. Yes. Sometimes you gotta stay until you hate them, and that's okay, you know? I'm not saying sit through the cheating or anything like that, but if you cannot leave them unless it is you're getting abused, please leave, please. Find something worth living for, because you don't need to, no. But what I am saying is that if you need to stay until you hate them, sometimes that's the best thing that you can do, because you know that you will never go back to that motherfucker. Never. So yeah. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know whenever I post my next story time, make sure to click that bell. And if you guys want to send in your anonymous story time, or you want to know how to send in your anonymous story time, you can't send in your anonymous story time because the link is still broken. So I love you guys, and I'll see you next time with a new story time.